Sorry about that, technology goes sometimes. Hi, Zion. Hi, Yvette. Hi, Angela. Hi to all those who are locked on. Hi, Erica. Thank you all again. I can't stop thanking you all for always coming to hang out with me Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, whenever you all see that the live go up or notification comes. So I want to thank you all so much. Hi, Christopher. I solemnly pledge to dedicate my life to the service of my God and my country. I'll honor my parents, my teachers, my leaders, my elders, and those in authority. I'll be clean and honest in all my thoughts, my words, and my deeds, and I'll strive in everything I do to work together with my fellow men of every creed and race for the greater happiness of all and the honor and glory of my country. And we really need to love our country, especially in these times. I want to say shout out, hi Leno, shout out to Victoria, hi Janice, Victoria and Joan. If it's not Joan, it's Joanne. I think it's Joan. I met Joan or Joanne at Yips on Charlotte Street. And we did a video call for she friend Victoria. And we were screaming. All we were screaming. I don't know why all three we were screaming, but we were screaming. So I want to thank them for supporting. They're from San Juan area. So Victoria and Joan, she good friend Joan, or Joan and she good friend Victoria, or is Joanne, one out of the two. Thank you all so much for supporting this live. Hi Black Pearl, hi Rosemary, hi Nadara, hi Mona, hi Sheldon. Sheldon, no, it's Roche with an E. You have family law, Haketa Sheldon, Emmeline, Nadia, oh, they're coming in one by one, 2 by 2, 3 by 3. Call them by the number. Hi, Denise. Let me start this thing, yes? Let me start this thing. It's too much. It is too much. But we are fighting with them. The information had to come out. People are to talk, say something, or they don't stay silent, and even the president and all talking, All right. Don't sit down there and stay silent. So I'm saying here, when the thing is wrong, say it wrong. Hi, Julian, no matter what side you're on, when it's wrong, it's wrong. So I'm seeing yesterday in The Guardian, Fraser Gopal top under 19 Arawak Junior Silver Bowl Tennis. Let's see what this is quickly. So France-based Chloe Fraser and Malik Gopal, both of Crusaders, were crowned champions of their respective under 19 girls and boys single division when the Trinidad and Tobago Table Tennis Association Arawak sponsored Junior Silver Bowl table tennis tournament ended on Sunday. The two-day tournament featured the top Trinidad and Tobago players, which served off on Saturday and was held at the Eastern Regional Indoor Sports Arena in Tagaligua. The 16-year-old Fraser, a recent gold girls under 17 single and silvers girl under 19 singles medal winner at the World Table Tennis Youth Contender Tournament in Caracas, Venezuela last week, scored Lejana Mohammed 11-3, 11-3, 11-1 to take the crown. Fraser served off the main draw by spanking Jania Samuel 11-1, 11-3, 11-5 in the quarterfinals and Jordan Tong 10-2, 11-6, 11-8, 11-6 in the semifinals while Muhammad won another won against Jeris Elder 11-9, 11-4, 8-11, 9-11, 11-9, and Liliana Budurhan 11-7, 11-4, 11-9, 9-11, and 11-9. So those are some winners there that I call in table tennis. So we have French-based people and thing out there, coming back home, Trinidadian coming back home to take part in the tournament and building the whole thing. So that's some sports music. I just give only a little touch every little thing, right? I've seen here also. Hi, Joy. Hi, Rebecca. Hi, Kathleen. We boy, Jereem, the dream. Richard. Let me see what they say about him here. He has speed like that. So this was yesterday in the Guardian. Trinidad and Tobago's Richard set to clash with American star Noah Niles in Monaco Diamond League 200-meter showdown. So TNT sprint, the thing just keep jumping out, eh? TNT sprint star Jereem the Dream Richards will face a stern test in the men's 200-meter at the Monaco Diamond League on Friday, squaring off against American sprint sensation Noah Niles in his first half-lap race of 2025 season. Niles has been sidelined since April 19 after running a 45.87 in the 400-meter at the Tom Jones Memorial Meet. He later withdrew from the Adidas Atlanta City Games due to a tight ankle, raising questions about his fitness. But we want to hear about Jeremy telling me all about Niles. However, the Monaco event marks his highly anticipated return to the 200-meter, a distance he had dominated in the Diamond League since 2019. When I go start to talk about Jerome Richards, but can we scroll till I see something about Jerome Richards? Yes. What the hell is this? Them just put his name there, and then everybody else. So here what I put. All right. So I say a little thing with his name. You can't read about all them people at home. However, the Monaco event marks his highly anticipated return to the 200-meter, a distance he has dominated in the Diamond League since 2019. But Niles and Richards won't have it easy. Waiting for them is the 2024 Paris Olympic champion, Letso Tibogo of Botswana, who is in blistering form. So let me just stick to the headlines. TNT Richards set to clash with American star Noah Niles in the Monaco Diamond League 200-meter showdown on Friday. People, be rooting for we boy. You see all them thing they write? I said true. I don't want to hear all them thing. I just want to hear about we. Them can see about themselves. So let me continue. Today, I think it is today, it's the birdie's birthday. And who is the birdie? The mighty sparrow. Who is the mighty sparrow? Slinger Francisco. I listen to the Congo man. Eat until he belly at that. And I never eat a white meat yet. I can't sing it. And then we have I'm a slave from a land so far. I was caught and I was brought here from Africa. And then we have making love one day with a girl they call she Mimi. Making love one day. All right, let me stop this singing. So singer Francisco ORTTCM and OBD, born the 9th of July 1935, better known as Mighty Sparrow, is a Trinidadian calypso vocalist, songwriter, and guitarist. Known as the Calypso King of the World, he is one of the best known and most successful calypsonians. He has won Trinidad's Carnival Road March competition 8 times, Calypso King and Monarch 8 times, and has twice won the Calypso King of King titles. So singer Francisco was born in the fishing village of Grand Roy, Grenada, West Indies, on the 9th of July 1935. He moved to Trinidad as a 1-year-old with his mother, his father having relocated there in 1937. He grew up in Laventille, a suburbs of Port of Spain. He began singing as a small child, but his love for calypso was discouraged while at Newton Boys Catholic School, where he sang in the choir. At the age of 14, he joined a steel band comprising neighborhood boys and performed with the band at Carnival. He received his performing name Little Sparrow during his early career as a result of his energetic stage performance. Young Calypso name, your Calypso name is given to you by your peers based on your style. In the old days, they tried to emulate British royalty. There was Lord Kitchener, Lord Nelson, Duke. And when I started singing, so this is Sparrow speaking, when I started singing, the bands was still using acoustic instrument and the singers would stand footed, making a point of accusing, making a point or accusing someone in the crowd with the pointing of a finger, but mostly they stood motionless. When I sang, I get excited and I move around, much like James Brown, and this was new to them. The older singers, excuse me, the older singer said, "Why don't you just sing instead of moving around like a little sparrow?" It was said as a joke, but the name stuck. A couple of years later, he changed his name to Mighty Sparrow. On leaving school, he began working for the government control board, but continued to perform calypso, which became the better paid of the two. And his residency at the Lotus Club made him a star locally. His first performance as a carnival singer came in 1954 with a parrot and a monkey. In 1955, Sparrow made his first recording, Missing Baby Ruby, High Cost of Living, and Race Talk for Vitadisc, which were included in on the royalties of Calypso Kingdom compilation a few years later. In 1955 and 1956, he also recorded Give the Youngster a Chance, Family Size Coke, Goatee, Clara Honey Bunch, and Yankee Back Again for Gems, Gina and Dinah, and the Queen's Canary for K, and Sailor Man for VJ Special Ace. In 1956, Sparrow won Trinidad's Carnival Road Match and Calypso King competition with his most famous song, Gina and Dinah, also known as The Yankees Gone, a song celebrating the departure of the U.S. troop from Trinidad. A live performance of Yankee Gone was included in the album Jump Up Carnival in Trinidad. His prize for winning the Calypso King title was $40. In protest at a small sum, the winner of the Carnival Queen Beauty Contest won $7,500. He wrote the song Carnival Boycott and attempted to organize other singers to boycott the competition. About half the singers followed, including Lord Melody. Sparrow claimed credit for succeeding improvement in the condition of calypso and steel band musicians in Trinidad, as well as the formation of the Carnival Development Committee, a musician assistance organization. Sparrow refused to officially participate in the competition for the next 3 years, but he continued to perform unofficially, even winning another road match title in 1958 with PAYE, Pay As You Earn. He did perform at the 1956 Carnival in the Young Brigade Calypso tent, where the 4 songs he performed were recorded later and were later released on the album Calypso King and Pink Gin. Sparrow went on to have local hits in 1956, 1957, with singles such as Jacques Palance, No Doctor No, and Sailor Man, before beginning a musical slanging match with Lord Melody, each releasing singles attacking the other. The rivalry went on for several years, and in 1957, Sparrow recorded his first album, Calypso Carnival 58, released the following year on the Balize label. He again boycotted the Carnival in 1959, choosing instead to tour extensively, and early that year released the album Sparrow in Hi-Fi before signing a deal with RCA, for whom he recorded 11 albums between 1960 and 1964. And it goes on and on. He has lived a full life. He is 90, I think, today, and we must appreciate our icons, give them the flowers while they're here. So that's just a little of Sparrow, and a lot of you know a lot of his music, both of them and so many others. His lyrics are usually very racy, but they're also lyrics that are very controversial and also nation building, historical, and that is what Calypso is. It tells our history, how our history is told. So happy, happy, happy and strong from Let Me Talk the Ting family to the mighty Sparrow Singer Francisco, 90 years young. So we continue. So I saw this happening. Hi Judith, hi Donna, hi Andrew, hi Margaret, Balti. Hi Rhonda. I wonder if it's Dr. Rowley also. So what here is a bridge that collapsed in India. Just now, let me see the name of the bridge. Leaving, they said leaving how much? About 9 persons there. I don't know if the toll has gone up since then. So to the people of India, we send our condolences, and there's also some floods going on in America. I can't remember if it's in, it looked like it's one of those states in the south, if I'm not mistaken. Can't remember right now, but condolences going out to the families who are so affected. But you know, in Trinidad and Tobago, anyway, it has flooded, is Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley. So I'm also seeing, remember just recently, the Minister of Finance, hi Tesla, hi Ashton, the Minister of, not Finance, the Minister of Energy would have announced that, if I'm not mistaken, hi Angela, that this country is going to strengthen ties with gas and oil and things with Suriname and Grenada and Barbados and all over the place. Excuse me, Guyana, if I'm mistaken. This was the 9th of July 2025. Hess announces withdrawal from Suriname's offshore oil block. Staatsolie, Suriname state-owned oil and energy company, has confirmed that Hess, the US-based oil and gas company, has decided to relinquish its interest in Block 59 offshore Suriname. Hess has fulfilled its minimum work obligation and decided not to proceed to the next phase of the exploration period ending July 8, 2025. Staatsolie said in a statement, adding that the block will become available for new contracts. The decision by Hess follows the withdrawal of its partner, Statoil Suriname B59, now Equinor Suriname B59. Yeah, B59. And Exxon Mobil Exploration and Production Suriname that in July 2024 transferred their stake to Hess, making it the sole participant in the block. Signed on July 2017, the production sharing contract PSC for Block 59 involved Statoil, Exxon Mobil, and Statoil, Equinor, and Hess. The block, located on the far northwest of Suriname offshore territory, spans approximately 11,480 kilometers squared and in water depths ranging from 2,700 meters to 3,500 meters. Despite a collection of 6,000 kilometers of 2D seismic data and 9,000 kilometers square of 3D seismic data, the previous partners deemed the risk of drilling and exploration wells too high. His efforts to attract new partners for further exploration of Block 59 over the past year also have been unsuccessful. Satsuli said the production sharing contract gives parties certain rights, including the right to withdraw, adding this is common in the oil and gas industry. With the relinquishment, Hess retains an interest in Block 42, which is located south of Block 59, Paramaribo, Suriname. So basically what that's saying here, and it's since 2017 that this drilling has been going on. We're in 2025, right? 2017, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 9 years. And after 9 years, they've been in partner with ExxonMobil and Equinor, we used to be Statoil, has done at that. They're saying, I put it in my way, that area to drill there, it is dangerous. And like nobody are willing to keep on pumping money there for that well. So they paying it out for contract. So is the Trinidad and Tobago going to get some investor to invest in a well that for 9 years, 3 known drilling companies was drilling? Them say, I put it my way. Them water too dangerous and too deep out there. We done at that. So where the big deal when I come from in Suriname? When we was telling earlier, the minister and the former minister energy was saying these things don't come just so. It will take about 9-10 years before you could get some commercialization of the oil or the gas. Well, let me even wait 9 years, people pulling out. But we go in and link with Suriname. All take chain up. In fact, all they take chain up some all here. So I'm seeing here, CARICOM is good. CARICOM heads of government meeting is happening. I think it's in Jamaica. Prime Minister Kama Pasabi Sessa did not attend. She sent Sean Sobers, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and CARICOM, the Minister of Homeland Security, Roger Alexander, and the Ambassador Penitentiary something and something, Ralph Maraj. So then how they represented. I must tell you, I saw an interview being done, I think by Akar Samari with Minister Sean Sobers and Minister Homeland. I don't think he understands. He's a minister now, and he's not a police officer, security officer, but he's standing behind the scene and walking. So you as a minister come and stand up close to the next minister so that when Akash interviewing, they go ask you a question too. And Ralph Maraj looking very cured. I find it as so cured, when you put, this is just my saying, when you put meat and salt water, and salt hammer them and just get hard, so you see. He look like he cured. He in the background to all the come and history, all the going to represent Trinidad and Tobago. Come and stand up by Akash. So when Akash is interviewing Minister Sean Sobers, all they only ask questions too, but I think we look pitiful. Like just me, and people say I bias, but whatever. So, as I was saying, at the CARICOM meetings there, hi Val, hi Helen, hi Dandy, hi Delano, hi Joycelyn. So at this heads of government CARICOM meeting, this is what Antigua had to say. This was yesterday in The Guardian. Akash Samaru reporting, like he's the international or regional reporter, probably. I don't know. Antigua and Barbuda Prime Minister Gaston Brown is urging the new Kamla Persad-Bissessar government to fulfill a commitment made to the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, OCS, during the tenure of the People's Partnership Government, an obligation that would cost Trinidad and Tobago approximately US 60 million. This matter stems from the massive financial crisis that originated with the collapse of two major Caribbean insurance and financial companies, Colonial Life Insurance Company, CLICO, and British American Insurance Company, BIECO. This crisis, which began in late 2008, sent shockwaves across the Caribbean, particularly affecting TNT, where CLICO was headquartered, and the OECS. About $1 billion was lost by EC, the Eastern Caribbean Depositor. Those are funds that were invested by CLICO, BIECO in the Trinidad economy. And we felt that there should have been greater participation of Trinidad and Tobago in the resolution of the issue. Now, the previous Kamla Persad-Bissessar administration had agreed to provide a compensation of $100 million to the OECS countries, of which $40 million is paid. Unfortunately, the Dr. Keith Rowley administration did not honor the remaining $60 million. Brown explained to Guardian Media during a lunch break at the 49th meeting of CARICOM heads of government in Jamaica yesterday. Brown said with the return of Persad-Bissessar as TNT Prime Minister, he is hoping the balance will be paid. He, however, acknowledged that TNT has its own financial problems. So we are not even asking for all of it to be paid at once. It will be a long-term bond payable at a low interest rate over an extended period in order to reduce the cash flow impact. But these are negotiations that we hope to have with Kamla Persad-Bissessar, and I remain hopeful that we'll be able to resolve the issue. Persad-Bissessar did not attend the ongoing CARICOM meeting in Jamaica. However, PM Brown said the option of sending a small OECS delegation to TNT is a viable option to discuss the matter. He said, give me a minute, the whole thing I was reading just jumped. Mohammed will go to the mountain, he said. The CLICO and BIECO fallout had a particularly severe and disproportionate impact on the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, OECS, and the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union, ECCU. The OECS/ECCU region had the largest exposure to CLICO and BIECO as a share of their GDP, with some countries' exposure reaching as high as 15% of their 2009 GDP. OECS governments were forced to undertake costly interventions and bailouts to mitigate the crisis and protect policyholders. This placed a severe strain on their national budgets and significantly increased public debt. Brown said the inequities faced by OECS members in the Caribbean Single Market and Economy (CSME) framework were discussed during yesterday's meeting, and again he referenced Trinidad and Tobago. There must be some benefits of the OECS countries. You'll find, for example, that the MDC, more developed countries, they produce most of the goods that we consume. Trinidad and Tobago, for example, is like a supermarket to the OECS. A lot of the goods that we consume, they are imported from Trinidad and Tobago, he said. But we can also source goods extra-regionally at a cheaper price. But the CET, like Common External Tariff, precludes us from importing those goods, even from the Dominican Republic, for example, where we can get better prices. So technically speaking, we are subsidizing prices for the MDC and the more developed countries. He said within the treaty, there is the Caribbean Development Fund, CDF, which is required to assist countries displaced as a result of the CSM to assist in capacity building. But the MDCs, that the more developed countries, have failed to meet their subscription to the CDF. OECS countries have felt that a CARICOM arrangement, particularly with CSME, excuse me, have historically disadvantaged their manufacturing sectors, he said. St. Vincent and the Grenadines Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves recently used the phrase monopoly money to describe TNT's currency due to the severe difficulties Vincentian traders face in converting their earnings into TT dollars, their earnings in TT dollars into hard foreign currency. PM Brown said he would never refer to any CARICOM member's currency in that manner. Well, that's your business, everybody different. However, he said, but in terms of settling these outstanding invoices in US dollars, understanding that they are small amounts, 3 million US dollars, I don't know that it is insurmountable. So, as far as practicable, I believe that Trinidad and Tobago should settle and to settle in the appropriate currency, that is US dollars. And it is a work in progress. These issues that have been raised now for several years, and we are hoping that the new administration will give a tangible effect to resolving these issues. Prime Minister Gaston Brown, I wish you all the best. Let me continue, Papa. So, let me see. Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Kenneth. Hi, Lennox. Let me see. Oh, this is CARICOM, real stories on CARICOM. So again, this is 20 hours ago. Guardian Gonsalves urged, and that is Dr. Gonsalves of St. Vincent, urges Trinidad and Tobago to join regional security system to help fight crime. Let me you to study Dr. Gonsalves. Reported from Montego Bay, Akasami. Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, has once again invited Trinidad and Tobago to join the Regional Security System, RSS, stating that the initiative could significantly assist the country in tackling its crime challenges. The RSS is an international agreement for the defense and security of the Eastern Caribbean region. The stated goal of the RSS is to provide mutual assistance to the member states on request, particularly in times of national emergencies, security threat, and national disasters. Speaking regarding meeting in Jamaica during the 49th regular meeting of the Conference of Heads of CARICOM, Dr. Gonsalves said, I would love to see Trinidad and Tobago come on board. He explained that TNT expressed an interest in the past, but there were some challenges. Under my friend Patrick Manning, Patrick wanted to join the RSS, but Owen Atta at the time, when he was Prime Minister, God bless his soul, was not so keen on Trinidad and Tobago being a member of RSS. He wanted them to have a memorandum of understanding with the RSS. Patrick didn't want any halfway house on that. He wanted to be part of it fully or not at all. When asked what benefits it would bring to Trinidad and Tobago, Gonsalves said, oh, it will help you to deal with your criminal situation because we will coordinate things better. RSS is a well-respected agency. We have IMPACTS, that is Caribbean Community Implementation Agency for Crime and Security in Trinidad, and Trinidad has pushed that. Patrick had pushed it, Kamala had pushed it, Rowley had pushed it. Gonsalves believes that RSS has certain assets that can help this country in the realm of national security. So I see this is a logical step, and I hope that it takes place. Coordinating better your Coast Guard facilities, your air, you have C-29 aircraft equipped with proper radar systems and so on. I have no doubt that you also have. Although he's saying we, so I guess he's talking about he. So let me say, I see this as a logical step, and I hope that takes place. Coordinating your Coast Guard facilities and your air. We have C-29 aircraft equipped with proper radar systems and so on. I have no doubt that you also have. Well, I might have some doubts. I don't know if we have that. I don't know. The St. Vincent and the Grenadines Prime Minister added, So we work together for better coordination to deal with the terrible boys and girls, those who are causing a lot of terror to ordinary citizens across the region. The RSS operates on the principle that an armed attack against one member state is considered an attack against all. It was founded in 1982 and is headquartered in Barbados, and Guyana joined in 2022. It sounds good. Let's see how that goes. This government on their own beat. Stanley Brown is their panacea for crime. So, we're coming out from CARICOM just now, Papa. This is Patricia. Hi, Jackie. So I want you all to listen to this. Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar said TNT will not replace the Privy Council.
Prime Minister TV6 News that the Caribbean Court of Justice, the CCJ, located in Port of Spain, will not be replacing the Privy Council as this country's final court of appeal for appellate jurisdiction. We reached out to the Prime Minister to get a response to a wish expressed by the Prime Minister of Barbados, Mia Mottley, during the opening ceremony of the 49th CARICOM Heads of Government meeting in Jamaica on Sunday to see a unified position among all CARICOM member states where the CCJ is concerned.
And you will forgive me, having been the one who was the chair of the preparatory committee for the establishment of the Caribbean Court of Justice. You will forgive me if I now make yet another appeal to the citizens of this region to allow their governments to know that there ought to be a singular purpose for the Caribbean Court of Justice to be truly the last court of appeal for the states of this region.
In Trinidad and Tobago, the CCJ is the final court of appeal in respect of the interpretation and application of the revised Treaty of Chaguaramas. On its website, the CCJ notes that it serves as the final court of appeal in civil and criminal matters for those countries of CARICOM which are parties to the agreement and have acceded to the appellate jurisdiction. Trinidad and Tobago is among the CARICOM member states where the Privy Council in London is the final court of appeal with regard to appellate jurisdiction. TV6 News has sent a question to Prime Minister Persad-Bissessar regarding Prime Minister Mottley's statement to find out if the new Persad-Bissessar administration plans to have the CCJ in Port of Spain replace the Privy Council as the final court of appeal for appellate matters. Prime Minister Persad-Bissessar told TV6 News, quote, "We will not be replacing the Privy Council, but I fully respect the right of all sovereign CARICOM nations to choose as they wish," end quote. So far, the CCJ is the final court of appeal for Barbados, Belize, Dominica, Guyana, and St. Lucia. Jewel Brown, TV6 News.
So I give an opinion, right? My opinion is, it seemed like Kamala Persad-Bissessar and them love the white man. Because the CCJ is right in Trinidad, up Henry Street, when you pass Park Street corner, yeah, going up there. If you're on Charlotte Street, I don't know which one is front or back, I forget. Excuse me. And well, they hear the countries that they say that use the Caribbean Court of Justice as their final court of appeal. And you know, late Mr. Robinson, A.N.R. Robinson would have been instrumental in this Caribbean Court of Justice. But Kamala Persad-Bissessar preferred to go to England, who used to be our slave masters. I don't know if it's because they just look at it, there was we slave masters, black people, but it was their employers. I don't know if guys are looking at it because really and truly, indentured laborers were the employees of the colonials, the British. But African people was the enslaved of the British. So they were the masters, colonial masters. But probably they're thinking that English was their employers because they came on contract and get paid, right? So they prefer that local cases here that we know about is the cult. When I say not the crime, I'm talking about in terms of the situations is within our space. That 9 white man and woman, or 5, or how much of them, who don't live here, must adjudicate on the cases that happen here. That making sense? When we have the Caribbean Court of Justice, that is a Caribbean thing that understands the Caribbean, that understands the different cultures, understands different spaces to deal with our matters. So is it Kamla Persad want us to remain a colonial state? Does she want even enslavement to come back? Because the only persons who disenfranchise if enslavement come back is people of African descent. So is it that she wants to ask that question, that they will now be the new slave masters? And in Trinidad and Tobago, African people become second-class citizens based on all the things I see now, right? Giving an opinion, based on all the things I see, like things put in place to further disenfranchise people of African descent. That is my opinion I given it. And I'll come to some other things I'm talking about why I am saying what I'm saying here. Because I can't understand why no country in the Caribbean, that any country in the Caribbean will not join and have the CCJ as the final court of appeal. It's called the Caribbean Court of Justice. But go to the Privy Council, to the British, who was we enslavers, who went down into India and committed so much atrocities. The history is there. Would have used the caste system in a way that it became so inhumane that Kamla Persad and her ancestors and all them who come here and the ancestors were part of the caste system, the untouchables and the Dalits. Where today, even in India, the Dalits don't have an easy time at all. But you want to still run there for them to pronounce on us here? Well, they have a serious insecurity problem, boy. And a serious inferiority problem, boy, or complex, boy. That, in my opinion, I give them. Well, let me continue. So, I am saying, you remember Fali used to be always saying, he want Dr. Rowley to declare this and declare that and declare his name and all kind of thing. Well, this was in the Guardian 23 hours ago. I mean, the Express. High Court gives Fali 30 days to declare his assets. Tobago House of Assembly THA Chief Secretary Fali Augustine has been legally compelled to submit his overdue integrity declaration for 2023. A High Court order issued yesterday by Justice Francis Persad grants Augustine a 30-day window to comply, while also ordering him to pay $1,500 in legal costs to the Integrity Commission. Augustine's declaration of income, assets, and liabilities exceeded $10,000, along with a statement of registrable interest, was originally due by May the 31st of last year. But his failure to comply, or his failure to file, prompted the Integrity Commission to take legal action. The commission responsible for upholding the Integrity in Public Life Act has previously highlighted Augustine's non-compliance through public notices in newspapers and the Gazette in November 2024 and January 2025. When these public appeals went unheeded, the Commission filed an ex parte application under Section 11(7) of the Act. This ex parte nature of the application means the order was granted without Augustine's legal representation present. Consequently, he has been afforded 7 days to formally apply to the High Court if he wishes to challenge or seek a variation of the order. Should the Chief Secretary fail to adhere to the court's directive, he faces serious repercussions. Non-compliance constitutes an offense under the Integrity in Public Life Act, carrying a maximum penalty of $150,000 fine. The Express attempted to contact Augustine yesterday evening for a response, but calls to his cell phone went unanswered. Attorney Nikhil Sanchez appeared on behalf of the Integrity Commission. So why would you not want to file your Integrity in Public Life Act? Why? You want people to know what you have is you decide to go in public life, and you know when you go into public life, those are things you have to do. So why I don't want to file the documents now? But we will see what will come out of that. Though if it was Dr. Raleigh, it would be all over. For Dr. Raleigh, people in this country are real mouth, and that come up with service says some people get like whims. Some people they don't talk, they don't say nothing, only whisper. Today, anyway, let me continue. Martin George. Well, I am shocked by the article. I am shocked by the article. I'm reading an article here. This is in the Guardian 19 hours ago. Prominent attorney charged with sexual assault. Now remember, everybody is innocent until proven guilty. I'm just reading a report. Prominent attorney Martin George has been charged with 2 counts of sexual assault by police. George, who practices in both civil and criminal court and is the president of the Tobago Business Chamber, was arrested yesterday during an exercise between 2:40 p.m. and 5 p.m. at his Dundonald Street, Port of Spain office. Inspector Dennis Drugar was the arresting officer. Yesterday's operation followed months of investigation spearheaded by Deputy Commissioner of Police, Intelligence and Investigation Susan Martin, along with Senior Superintendent Raymond Tom and ASP Ramesh Sudhir. Acting on legal advice received from the Director of Public Prosecution, Roger Gasper, on July the 2nd, officers charged George with grievous sexual assault and indecent assault following his arrest yesterday. Guardian Media understands the complaint was filed in March. In a release yesterday, the TNT Police Service, TTPS, assured throughout the investigation process, several consultations were held with the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution. George is scheduled to appear before the Master of the High Court today. What has happened to Watson Solomon Juke rape case? 1 count of rape and 4 counts of sexual assault from since about 2016 or 17. And then it went to whatever court, and then it didn't have the preliminary hearing again. It now had to go in the High Court. What has become of that? Why nobody in here nothing about that? What has become of that case? Has Juke been going to court for this case? Or has the case been thrown out? We want to know. Is 1 count of rape and 4 counts of sexual assault of a female employee? So is that a joke now? Is this a joke now? What confidence will people have when these things happen to them? I didn't say nobody commit nothing. I'm just saying that was the charges. Because he spent 4 days, he spent a weekend in Romania, you know, before he get bail, you know. Watson Solomon Juke, you know. And then he's a convicted criminal too. From he get convicted in court in Arima, not for no rape or anything, but for falsely pulling a fire alarm. He was convicted in a court in Arima. So if you're convicted, you're charged, you get convicted, you're a convicted criminal. So I wonder if he could get a police record. Anywho, what has happened to that case? So we have another case here now. Will we see this come to some fruition, whether guilty, innocent, or whatever? Will we see that? Look. Let me continue, yes? Again, I just read in the article. Everybody is, before the law, you're innocent until proven guilty. But it is sounding good. To see that in your face there and thinking that it ain't sounding. Anyways, so what is happening in Tobago now? Hi, Shirley. Hi, Candace. So emergency mode at hospital is normal, says Nurses Union head. Well, how come we never hear about that, Mr. Edie Stewart? If it is normal, how come this make papers now? So if this is always something that has happened, I'm just asking, no time ever we ever hear that? Look, I don't know, no, Papa. Let me just read this story. This is CNC3. The emergency mode at hospitals is a normal occurrence in Trinidad and Tobago, but according to Edie Stewart, president of the Trinidad and Tobago Registered Nurses Association, only Tobago has the guts to declare. He said overcrowding now affecting Scarborough General Hospital happens in Trinidad every single day. The concept of hospital being overflowing, that is normal, unfortunately, in Trinidad and Tobago. It is a normal practice. It is occurring every day in the hospitals in Trinidad and Tobago, Stewart says. His comments came after the Tobago Regional Health Authority, TRHA, announced it was activating emergency mode for 48 hours due to a full medical and surgical wards and 13 patients awaiting the emergency department. Stewart said the move was not only bold, but also the right thing to do. We would not want to commend that we would want to commend the Secretary of Health for issuing such a notice, he said. It's indeed proactive, and it will highlight the need for additional services and human resources to the public, and it will encourage persons who may tend to go to accident and emergency. It may have taken the public by surprise, and there may be a feeling of unease, he observed. However, it is a good signal that the Secretary of Health has indeed seen a problem and is trying to address it comprehensively. Stewart noted that nursing and midwifery personnel are prepared to work extra hours to be called out from home and to rise to the occasion. He maintains they deserve better treatment. Mind you, nursing and midwifery personnel do not get paid for overtime work, he pointed out. It is so ironic that with this increasing demand, the authorities did not see it fit to at least make nursing and midwifery personnel permanently employed, he added. Stewart called on the TRHA and the Secretary of Health to follow their own policies and provide basics like meals and time to arrange childcare when demanding long shifts from staff. I can wait to see how that thing out is. I didn't know that was a normal thing. I didn't know that. I wasn't aware of that. I not know that. So they send out, the Tobago Regional Health Authority send out for immediate release. Scarborough General Hospital enters emergency mode. Scarborough, Tobago, July the 8th, 2025. The Scarborough General Hospital has activated emergency mode for the next 48 hours due to a surge in patients' admissions and capacity constraints across medical and surgical wards. All elective surgeries have been suspended until further notice. Currently, both surgical and medical wards are at full capacity. Adult medical and surgical wards are 33 and 34 patients respectively, with 13 patients awaiting admission at the accident and emergency department. The public is strongly advised to visit A&E only in cases of dire emergency, the accident and emergency, only in cases of dire emergency during this period. Every effort is being made to transfer stable patients to the Roxborough Hospital, where limited bed spaces remains available. We thank the public for their cooperation and understanding as we prioritize critical care and manage this temporary but urgent situation. I want to ask, what has happened in Tobago that has made it that all of a sudden, because this is all of a sudden, if it used to happen before, nobody know. Why make it public now? Just asking. What has happened in Tobago that it has a surge of people going to the hospital? I wonder if Mr. E.D. Stewart, the president of the Registered Nurses Association, asking that. Because if this is a normal thing, what has made this THRA, whatever it is, decide now they're going to something that is normal, quote unquote, that now they're going to bring it to the front, close down the situation for 48 hours to send patients here and there. What has caused them to do that? If it's something that is normal and does happen. And then again, what has happened that there's all of a sudden this overflow of patients going to the hospital in Tobago? Those are questions that has to be asked. Okay? So it is okay for the president of the union to say that the people in Tobago brave. They make a proactive move because it's happening all the time in Trinidad and Tobago. It's good to one thing to say that, but then you have to go behind the scene to get the data, why it is. They had to do it, why it is there was an increase in patient. Is it people coming in there with some type of disease or some type of some type of contagious something? Excuse me. Is it some epidemic? What it is that has all of a sudden created a situation where the hospital is overfull. And they had to take that decision now that it is just say it is a normal thing, basically. So how come it ain't normal again? When I had to look, you see me? Me ain't no investigator, me ain't no nursing personnel. I'm not in the medical field, but it sounds iffy to me. That's just me. The life sticking? Well, I don't know, because right now I'm seeing that only 5 people on, and I know it's not only 5 people. Hi, Anton, hi, Augustus. I don't know why it's sticking them as he start back. You know, they want nobody talk about them just wrong, you know. So I don't know. And then my head was kind of down too, reading the thing, so I wasn't aware. I'm sorry if that is happening. I can use the emoji at my end. Can you send the emoji? I don't know what happened. The live sticking, somebody again saying that. Let me see. It's still sticking. Who come? Anton, is the live still sticking? I know something is wrong because of the amount of people I've seen the Israel saying that is on the live, because the names I call is more than 5. So I know something is happening. Val, tell me what's happening now. So this, sorry, I will leave it for another day. So I heard that a traffic warden who was doing their job at the Piaco airport was injured. Traffic warden injured in airport drive-off. This was July the 9th, 2025, CNC3. Hi, Cyril. A traffic warden was injured at the Piaco International Airport on Tuesday morning after a motorist allegedly drove off while receiving a ticket. According to the airport authority of Trinidad and Tobago, the incident occurred at the departure concourse. Preliminary reports state that the traffic warden was issuing a ticket for a traffic violation when the motorist attempted to leave and the vehicle made contact with the officer. The authority confirmed that the security forces and Trinidad and Tobago Police Service were immediately alerted and responded quickly. Hi, Candace. TTPS officers intercepted. Thank you, Candace. TTPS officers intercepted a motorist at a Piaco roundabout. The injured officer was treated by the authorities' emergency medical technician team and later taken to the Arima Health Facility by GMRTT for further care. Minister of Transport and Civil Aviation Eli Zakor has been informed of the incident. He welcomed the effective response of the recently formalized multi-agency airport security framework, and conveyed concern for the traffic warden well-being, wishing a full and speedy recovery. All I believe that is only since the UNC came into office that they have this multi-agency airport security framework by the airport. Or they really believe that? This is my opinion. I don't believe that it just happened under the minister. I think it's something it always had. There's the airport we're speaking about. Anyways, that's my opinion. I wish the traffic warden a speedy recovery. And I just asking, is it because people here didn't know the merit points, it's on suspension, people feel like you can't give me no ticket? And I don't know, I just asked them because we weird, you know. We weird like that, you know. So let me continue. So this is Wade Mack. I think Wade Mack is
a former Speaker of the Parliament, sat in that.
All right. So this was not recent, but it was, I think this man is, what was his name? I can't remember his name now, I'll surely look at it. He was talking about the disrespect that the Speaker of the House, and he spoke about a former Speaker, had to go through, and he called it, listen.
House on Wednesday and insulted one of my successors. And that hurts very much. That kind of street behavior from a former Speaker of the House of Representatives. 30 years he's a member of Parliament. And for 30 years, he has never faced the electorate. What a ride on the backs of the people. And with someone sitting next to him, pointing his finger, a little boy, pointing his finger to the Speaker of the House of Representatives, whom the people put there, and telling her, people vote for we, who vote for you?
Madam, the people voted for us, who voted for you?
Such stupidity, such total ignorance of the process and the system under which he has found himself as a useless member of Parliament. He should be under training as to how to operate in a village council rather than be sitting in the House of Representatives. That is the kind of mess that we are putting our country in.
Well, boy, he gave PM too good to that little boy. When will the opposition leader started talking that kind of? I think that is Mr. Nizam Mohammed. I'm not too sure he's the Speaker of the House. What he said. Nizam Mohammed, thank you, Miss Helen from Pleasantville. Yeah, he called part a little boy. He said he should take training to something to thing, how to run must a village council or something. And he talked about Wade Mark. How much years Wade Mark in the politics. Never faced the electorate. But riding on the backs. Oh God, it wasn't one thing when I played over again, but time. You come good, Mr. Mohammed. You come good day. You come good day. You come good day. You come real good. Let me see what you have here. Coming out with something, you know, because all you know. But this thing with the CJ boy, like they going back on the CJ case again, boy. Something ain't smelling and looking good, boy. So this was yesterday in the Guardian. The government introduced Lord Chancellor. What's wrong with this UNC with these terms? We done with Lord and all them thing long time. All I want the Privy Council to remain. All I want a Lord Chancellor. Why a Lord? Why the word Lord? What it is? You all stuck in the colonial days or something? Or they go bring back here like a plantation? Jeez. Government introduced Lord Chancellor of the Judiciary post to the Judiciary post. The government plans to introduce the post of Lord Chancellor of the Judiciary to oversee the day-to-day logistics and running of the courts. And nationwide consultation will be held on this major change. And the Law Association has come in for strong criticism from Prime Minister Kano Persad-Bissessar. Speaking at last night, Monday night forum or report, or whatever the hell it is, in Penal, Persad-Bissessar said government has to speed up the justice system, speed it up. We plan to introduce a chancellor in the judiciary. Currently, our system has a chief justice who has to do the administration, deliver judgments, and oversee the whole operation. But at the rate TNT is growing, we have outlived that kind of model. Everything is more and more. So you're going to bring a Lord Chancellor when it already has somebody already there understands some kind of CEO, something who works directly with the Chief Justice. So you need a Lord Chancellor now. Okay. Although watch all this thing playing out, you know. We have discussed the Attorney General in our instruction, talk to the Law Reform Commission to examine establishment of a Lord Chancellor, which part I reach? Of the Judiciary. The Commission has prepared a research note and will be reviewing it in the Cabinet. The Chief Justice will still be in charge of the Judiciary, but the Chancellor will oversee the day-to-day logistics and running of the courts. At the same time, the Chief Justice will focus on managing legal cases and overseeing judges, magistrates, masters, and other judicial personnel. She added, Judiciary is in a difficult place. The Chief Justice is being bogged down in operational duties and daily management activities, and is hindered by his core function of delivering judgment and monitoring judicial appointees. We can fix the operation and give the Chief Justice and Judiciary what they require, fit for purpose human resource. She said they hope to have legislation drafted by October and will have nationwide consultation on this. Taking aim at the Law Association, which yesterday expressed deep concern at attacks on independent senators, the PM said, interestingly, the Law Association, which is often criticized for its silence, has suddenly found its voice to express concern over what it perceives as an attack on the independence and integrity of the Senate independent bench. But those are the president's senators. The Law Association of Trinidad and Tobago is the same body that remains silent over the past 10 years, when the PNM destroyed the sacred core of democratic principles, institutions, and rule of law. The fact is that the PNM eat-a-food dunce lawyers have long infiltrated the Law Association of Trinidad and Tobago executive, and it's high time their political hypocrisy and agenda are exposed. People are no longer fooled by greedy, legal, fake elites masquerading as independent voices who are quietly gorging at the Treasury. And I'm going to leave it there, right? For a couple of reasons. So the Prime Minister is saying that the independent senators who were chosen, for want of a better word, by the president, and the president was appointed, was a pick, the PNM pick, right? And because of that, the independent bench of senators, they're not independent, right? They do the biddings. They were doing the biddings of the PNM to that effect, right? So when this current president, Her Excellency Christine Kangaloo Garcia, when her term is up and only put all your president, and all the president pick the independent senators. So it's not the same thing you accusing the PNM of going to happen. Because it will be your president, and it will be your president choosing his or her independent senators. So it's not the same thing you accuse them. So all listen to what these people saying and realize they're not making sense now. So they're going to be independent under you, who have proven 2010 to 15, or they can be trusted, that all they try to interfere with the judiciary by implementing Section 34, and the whole country had to come out and march for it to pull it back, created a whole ministry called the Ministry of Justice, take a man who was on the bench today and by tomorrow here on a UNC platform that is about vulnerable deceased, make him the Minister of Justice. The only thing he do in that ministry is to create Section 34, and that Section 34 was created to free the financiers. The financiers were H. Galbraith Singh and Steve Ferguson. One has died. They came out of the Piaco's corruption scandal, where people don't make jail for, where Cameron them says a hoax, massive corruption, eat a food and all kind of thing, corruption. Cameron them says a hoax, but people make jail in that already. The former Attorney General for the PP government, Anna Ram Logan, had assured the Americans, and listen, we will deal with the case in Trinidad. That is why they didn't pursue it, and they never deal with it. Instead, we get Section 34, and these men run up the stairs with the lawyers, or the lawyers run up by themselves the Monday morning after that law was proclaimed in the dead of the night when we were celebrating independence. Weekend past Monday morning, they run, and they use that same law to free them. And then when the law was repealed, it was said you cannot make a law, and we were affected by it, and because you pull it back now, you want to dissent. That has nothing to do with us, basically. So they say, we done free already, we case done thing. Even if all they get rid of Section 34, we can be affected by it. So we have all that history with them, right? So all I want to believe that when they put their own president and the president chooses the independent candidate, that the independent candidate wouldn't be chosen to support just the UNC. It is alleged that the person they want to put as the Lord Chancellor or C, whatever it is alleged as Jaiwanti Lakshmidial. What do they expect if that goes through to happen? It will be a pressure of the CJ, are pressing and pressing and pressing, and Ms. Lachmidial, in my opinion, doing the biddings of the people who contribute the UNC. All the things getting scary, you know. But when it was time to vote April 28th, plenty all they take chain up, all they go out and vote because they say the UNC and the PNM is the same. All they go and so they can vote for Stuart because he's not a black man, because PNM is a black party and Dr. Rowley just pulled it there. Yet we had the blackest prime minister, Dr. Rowley, and people cuss him, insult him, call him rapist, all kind of thing for the 9 years he was there. And all they take chain up and all they go and vote. You see what happened? About 20 people. 20 people get fired. 20,000 people get fired. It is alleged. And the atrocities, in my opinion, continuing. Or they can take back all the vote, and or they can say, oh, well, let me go and get a next chance to vote. I read no more. This country, if we're not careful, will become a dictatorship, and it will come where a tyrant ruling, a dictator. You see, all what they say about Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, in my opinion, is what I was saying about himself and what I was thinking about himself. So they want this country to become ungovernable, a failed state, dictatorship. My opinion, I'm giving African people second-class citizens. Indian people get all the gun under stand your ground, and we had to be frightened to come out in the road to walk because next thing they say, that we trying to do them something, wherever, and they stand their ground. I give an opinion. Eh? Or let's sit down there and feel everything is everything. And continue following PNM, as you say, they're not the same. You ever hear PNM fire 20,000 people in one fell swoop? Or ever hear that? Let me continue, man. Now, the person who's supporting this, you should know who's supporting this is the man who pull on people pity and thing and does get on. He called Dr. Rowley a liar and all kind. The Honorable Israel Khan supports that move. Me even going and read it. You remember he was the pick for the People's Partnership for the president of this country, so. God Father. So Her Excellency would have responded to the Prime Minister Kamala Persad and her behavior in trying, and that is the thing, are they trying to intimidate the independent senators, Dr. Marlene Atts and the rest of them, and anybody who want to serve, into bullying them and frightening them that they start to be so scared that they're only voting with the government because they're afraid to vote against the government because of fear of them being said that it's PNM. And is it that is what they want? So is it not that the independent government, the independent senators are just simply going to everything that the UNC come and just say yes and vote for it? Is that what's going to happen? I'm asking a question, I know. So it ain't going to rigor, it ain't going to independent senators, just as senators. So the president will be them on, the independent senators is them on, the judiciary is them on, everything will be under the thumb of the UNC government that is mainly a Hindu Indian government. Because all they see how they get on, listen to me now, all they see how they get on. When Prime Minister Modi came here a couple of days ago, that was not a national event, that was an Indian Hindu event. Because I put up on my page, when Indira Gandhi, the Prime Minister, came here from India, the first time we had a Prime Minister from India coming here, under Dr. Eric Isas with them, it was a national event. Everybody of every race came out, the school train, everybody was a national thing. It was not an Indian thing. This thing here that came here with Prime Minister Modi, this was an Indian thing. This was a Hindu Indian thing. This thing going a kind of way in order. But I blame all them who sit around home and refuse to come out and vote. I blame all them who was going around and telling people, don't vote for PNM and Stuart because PNM is a black party. It's all they have doing this kind of stupidness here this time, you know. And all they have little train and all kind of thing. Everything is a give and a joke, you know. All right. Kangaroo defense independence. and record as president. President Christine Kangaroo has pushed back against critics who question the impartiality of her Senate appointment and continue to scrutinize her political past, suggesting that gender bias underlines some of the commentary. Speaking yesterday at the opening of the Atalactro Global School of Business Women in Leadership Conference, President Kangaroo addressed recent public criticism over her constitutional role and her background in partisan politics. For the last 63 years, ever since independence, commentators have invariably referred to the senators appointed by me in accordance with the Constitution as independent senators. Yet suddenly, for the first time in our history, they now refer to them as the president senators, she said. But even Kurt Mayhew has put anything former independent senator, he didn't put former president senator. She described her previous experience as a member of parliament and cabinet minister as an invaluable training ground for her current office, but said male political commenters had used her long dead and buried political career as a hammer to beat both her and her family. No amount of facts seems to matter to them, she said. It makes no difference that I have given up active politics for a full 7 years before I was elected president. It makes no difference that unlike a former distinguished president who just so happened to be male, I did not move from being a cabinet minister one day directly and being president the next. It makes no difference that in any event, our constitution specifically contemplates a sitting member of parliament becoming president. President Kangaroo continued. I have sometimes allowed myself to wonder whether the difference in my case is that I am the only of two women to have been president, and whether the reason that the only other former politician to have become president was spare the attacks that have been visited upon me, that is that he was male. She asks that she be judged solely on merit of her performance as head of state. I don't think it only has to do with you being a woman, you know. It has to do with the viciousness of those who don't support the PNM and those who support the UNC. It's a nasty viciousness, and like they're following the Trump again, and next a white man. I don't know if Kamala Pasabi says and they don't realize that Donald Trump don't consider them, you know. Them is minorities, you know. So this kind of sucking up and to me, in my opinion, to Donald Trump and what he doing on that. Like if he just take them on, like if he have any concern with them, it's about make America white again, not make America brown and green and blue and again, you know. That is what you hear in all them commentators in American podcasters and things saying. So I don't know where is this thing Kambasabi says and feel that Trump and them or Trump administration go like them. I asked him, that is what they're looking for. They want to remain in the Privy Council. They want to have Lord Chancellor. Everything sounds so arcade and backward. But anyway, when they was in office 10 to 15, they carried this country backward. Let me continue. So, the journey of the CPEP workers and what happened to them continues. This was yesterday in the Newsday. The Community Environment Protection and Enhancement Program, commonly known as CPEP, has long occupied a controversial space in the nation's long-standing efforts to combat unemployment through made work initiatives. Born in July 2002 under the leadership of the then Prime Minister, the late Patrick Manning, the program was established to revamp and modernize employment effort. The mission statement was clear: working for the nation by protecting, enhancing, and building our communities through environmental entrepreneurship. CPEP joined a long tradition of make work initiatives such as the Unemployment Relief Program, URP, created in the early 1990s. According to the Works and Infrastructure Ministry, URP principal function is to provide short-term employment for unemployed people on a rotational basis. Now, I ain't going to read all this, I'll just read another part of it. So So they give a whole history of it. DUDE was renamed the Local Initiative and Development, LID program in 1980s, because other work shift initiative included the now defunct Development Employment Work Program, DUDE, created in 1960s under Dr. Williams-led administration. So you see, all these programs has been developed by the People's National Movement under Dr. Williams. Was JUDE, then it became LID, then under next PLN government it was URP, and under another one it became CPEP alongside URP. So the termination with effect, when changes in administration over the years, allegations of political interference have risen in the state enterprise. The termination with effect, immediate effect of an estimated 360 contractors on June 27 left approximately 10,500 workers considered vulnerable and marginalized on the breadline. On July 2nd, scores of them protested outside CPEP office at the St. Magdalene. In St. Magdalene to demand rehire and answer. The affected people, many of whom are women and single parents, said they rely on CPEP for their livelihoods, often working harder both under the sun and rain. A 52-year-old woman from Taradale said she is caring for a 16-year-old son who attends secondary school. Uncertain how she would care for him financially, she said she would try to find alternative employment to pay her bills. Another woman from Kokia said she helps to care for her grandchildren. She has been working with CPEP for the last 4 years. Former worker Anthony Kokul, who worked in the Reform Village area, complained that he has a 4-year-old child in kindergarten and pays $1,500 per term plus transportation. He said he is owing on the transportation and the sudden termination has made things even more difficult for him. Right now, getting work is very hard. Even getting work in a supermarket is hard because I would need to get a certificate of character from the police, which takes at least a month to get. I would like to know when and how I can expect to receive my work back. We do not know who will be rehired. We want answers, Google said. The money is small, but we make both ends meet at the end of the day. A lot of people voted for change, and we want change. We are fed up with living the same old all the time. He called on the government to give them some relief, saying they are all stressed, mentally, emotionally, and physically. But Mr. Gokul, you wanted change, you get change, but the change you get take away from the same old, which was he was working under the CPEP, the money small, you say, but he used to make ends meet. He had been working for 2 years and 6 months. The former worker also took their plight to Port of Spain on the afternoon of July 4th after expressing their frustration, disappointment, and anger at the mass firing. The group gathered outside the parliament where visiting Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi was a part of the joint sitting. In 2020, CPEP celebrated its 18th anniversary and shared some of its accomplishments in its first edition letter dated or titled In Touch, which was posted on the CPEP website. It goes on and on and on and on and on. And they have to thank this PM2 for that. Some say the butcher and some call him some other name, whatever. And he seems to be very happy and comfortable with that. But as the man said, they voted for change because they fed up on the same old. You get the change, and the same old was you working in CPEP for 2 years with this small money that you used to be able to make ends meet. That same old, they take away that from you. So you have the change and no same old, and no work. I've seen this piece of trash. I ain't even going to read this. It makes no sense. I want you all to listen to this. This is from a TikTok platform called Workers' Rights. I hope it's that will come up. Ma'am, hi, Rosemary. Please come up. Right.
And John Black secure. I see them take down the from the airport. We must ask ourselves this question. Was Stuart Young the Prime Minister? That is what we must ask ourselves. Was Stuart Young the Prime Minister? Now, if we do all them things, we strip him, all of these things. Then people, then the election that Stuart Young called was illegal, then we need to call an election. You see all the shenanigans that people are trying to disapprove Stuart Young of his Prime Ministerial position. And at the end of the day, we accept the fact that he would have called election. That right there within itself is a fallacy. But stop playing smart with foolishness. And somebody do this comment that I am hearing certain people are saying, time to wake up, we don't pass that, election time gone, and govern the country. And somebody do this, you that I'm here to stop it. We want a better Trinidad and Tobago. That is the reason why we would have headed to the polls. We believe that we would have done the right thing and would have gotten a better government. To do what? To govern the country. To stop being foolish, trying to stop this game. And with that, I am out.
Today it's Mr. Young. Tomorrow it could be any other office holder. This utilitarian approach, focusing on what is expedient or politically palatable in the short term, risks eroding the constitutional guardrails that protect us all. In my opinion, if this bill is allowed to pass, we in the Senate will have to take responsibility for establishing a bad precedent. The objective of this bill is to deny a certain equal protection under the law. That constitutes, in my opinion, an invidious discrimination.
Well, the strict Stuart Young of the pension plan, security detail, and I see them take down the from the airport.
So that again is somebody commenting on the issue of the situation with MP Stuart Young, who was the Prime Minister of the country when the election was called, and the UNC went to Parliament with a bill ad hominem, retroactive bill, to make sure that he does not get the Prime Minister salary, Prime Minister pension. And my thing about it is this: you don't go retroactively to amend a law to affect one person, because that becomes cruel and unjust. That becomes cruel and unjust. Somebody sent something for me today. Let me see. I hope this is it. So listen to this one also. And that senator there, Senator Vera. That is Senator Vera, who is very outspoken, and because of him and his challenging them with that same law, they want to say that he's a PNM and all kind of thing, and good getting on. Well, listen to this.
I would have speak about for
denied 1 week education, and it has some.
Please shut up. And let me pull up this video when she would have made a speech on a political platform. And watch what is going on with CPEP. And you tell me for your own self. Is this woman with your ears?
I heard Camille. And she asked, what did the PSA do for workers during COVID? Camille, I want to thank you for reminding me. I want to thank you, Camille, for reminding me. Public officers, workers, do you remember quasi-safe zone? Or do you remember that? Or do you remember that they threatened to take your jobs if you didn't take the vaccine? Thank Camille for reminding us. The PNM looked on while hundreds of workers in this country lost their jobs because they refused to take the vaccine. We remember that. Thanks to Camille. And hear what she didn't know. After workers lose their jobs, you boast about giving out hampers. Why you didn't save the workers and then blast their jobs so you ain't had to give out no hampers? They must know that governments that stand against labor must be what? Must be what? Must be what? So on April 28th, what is the
Let me answer that question for you. That woman do not work your ears, because as a union official, you supposed to be seeking the interests of workers, or letting your voice in places where you don't have authority. At the end of the day, when you climb that political platform, you would have made every statement after that political. Now, in the face of 10,000 people going home, you have nothing to say. Forestry workers going home, you have nothing to say. But look at this. We have a next video that we will forward, regardless of the factor that you don't want to hear. Let me play this second video, because at the end of the day, people must not use other people for their own gain. Pay attention.
Before you get to that point where the checks will bounce in the bank, you cut the liability of requiring to write the checks. You know what I mean? When the government finds itself in a position not being able to pay the payroll, ask Barbados what happened. It's tens of thousands of public servants have come off the payroll. Governments don't have you on the payroll working and can't pay you. They take you off the payroll. In this country, anybody who is telling you that they will incur expenditure that we all know the revenues cannot support, they are telling you in code that they intend to cut the public service. And let me tell you what my source of information tells me when I try to understand what the UNC is about. You know what the UNC is saying quietly and secretly? If they ever get to that situation where they come into office and they can't pay the bills that they're committed to, and they cut the public service, is mainly PNM supporters that will be affected, because the bulk of the public service is East West Corridor people supporting the PNM. That is the conversation inside the UNC. And that is why they can't tell you, when you ask them, how are you talking about increasing expenditure by a 2 billion here and a 6 billion there and whatever?
Let me just deal with that union jackass who, speaking about Mrs. Camille Robinson Regis, Minister Camille Robinson Regis, MP Minister Camille Robinson Regis now, about the PNM stood by and saw thousands of people lose their job during COVID-19. Let me tell that jackass, that dunce, who sat as the president of PSA. Those were private entities. The government had no control over those private entities in how they treat with the workers. And there was a lot of them in the hospitality industry that was telling the workers to take the vaccine. The same vaccine that you're complaining about, the woman you're supporting, your jackass from PSA, the woman that you're supporting, who's the Prime Minister of this country, was not praising the Indian Prime Minister who came here a couple of days ago for sending vaccine first in a humanitarian effort to save lives in this country. So the employers who was mandating that the employees take the vaccine, it was to save their life, based on the fact that today, Kamala Persad-Bissessar is thanking Modi, the Prime Minister of India, for sending those vaccines. I want to, well, let me continue. And they lost their jobs, they didn't take it, that's the private sector. But I want to ask that dunce, did any public officer that PSA represent, did any public officer in this country lost the job? Public officers were on flexi time, or they were on home remotely working, or on home, or just home working and getting paid during COVID-19. Felicia Thomas, your jackass. The only people who were out there working was our emergency service workers, doctors, nurses, all the supporting staff in the hospitals, and the police, the fire, the Coast Guard, the prisons. Those were the persons working, but all other public officers, and then you had some in HR and in accounting, they work on flexi time because they had to do up the checks and all them kind of thing. Everybody else, teachers, everybody was home for almost 2 years and getting salary every month. So any public officer lost their work, but you still want to get on like if you saw something, your jackass, I saying it again. That you know, listen to me now. All I be drinking a joy juice at all doesn't know what the hell all they're talking about, you know. And when those workers in the private sector being sent home, the government supported them. Everybody may not have got, but the government supported them with hampers. The hampers had everything in it. Help them to pay rent. Help them with a little salary, a little something. That's what the government did. For the private workers, it wasn't government workers. The government is the largest employer in this country, and they make sure the largest workforce that have in this country was protected. No gazetted public officer lost their job. So you talk go up on a stage, you talk shit, and you talk about when a government don't think with labor to vote them out, well then we're supposed to be marching to vote out the UNCRs. Because them like got 20,000 workers. What it is you have to say about that? What is you have to say about that? Before you march your little ass down in industrial court and withdraw our matter from the industrial court, take it back in front of the CPO and start over the negotiation for the period 14, 15, 16. You're up on a stage. You're up on a stage, you're talking a pack of shit right through. And you wouldn't do the work for the public officers. Because you know why? She can't do it. She's a dunce. You know what that's called? I hear it as a letter that's called. She's Sasha Stupid. She don't know the work. Worse yet, but he said that's a prop she. He's not the minister labor. She's a dunce, a complete dunce. Ask anybody. So she ain't going to do nothing for public officers. They get WASA and they contented with that. I keep saying that is quite okay. They fight for WASA, there's WASA workers and they from WASA and all that. I hope she permanent now. But to go and talk that set of rhetoric and people, I hope all them who in the crowd that was balling in the green jersey, that today they ain't saying they shoulda, coulda, woulda. Because we ain't getting no 10%. This government will not be able to sustain no negotiation that goes more than 10% or starting no negotiation on no 10%. No government can sustain that record expenditure every month. Not in the condition they say the country in. Them say so. The Minister of Finance, Tanko, say things bad. The oil depleted, the gas depleted. We don't have no new gas, still nothing. Thank God for Minister of Energy at the time. Minister Sioting and Dr. K. Christopher Rowley. We get Atlantic LNG and we get them trained from the thing. And the new way they negotiate the price for the gas and things different than the ordinary way. This new way they get more money. Thank God for Stuart Young, the great negotiator. Thank God for Dr. K. Christopher Rowley for understanding and seeing talent. Is that what dragging this country along? Because they give up on Dragon. They want to go by Nutmeg and Grenada where the Prime Minister say he even know them had nothing there. The company that was drilling, this Russian company, pack up and gone. We here in Suriname, and next company going again. They did 9 years, nothing them gone. They say too dangerous out in them waters. I'm looking for investors. So what's stopping us, Felicia, and the PSA want to let we feel that the government will really start negotiation at 10% and we go get something. We ain't getting nothing. When I was telling public officers, take the 4%. We agree that is not enough, but it's Watson Chupo in that situation. He got a settlement from the Minister of Finance, remember, for the period 2014, 15, 16, and he refused to take it. If he didn't take it, we'll be on 17, 18, 19, we'll negotiate for that, and then 20, 21, 22. He refused to take it. So you have to blame Watson Chupo, you have to blame Felicia Thomas, you have to blame the Ribertis. And then on top of it, when the government say 4%, they can bring no data to show the government can pay more than 4% because the government show recession, COVID-19. No union had no document to show the government could find money somewhere under them circumstances. So unions take the 4%, they get the 4% and they get 5% for the period 2020, 21, 22. We still on 2013 salaries. But we want to tell you about yellow is the code. I hear some youth men singing today, they're selling down where I live in, they're selling Sabakan thing. And it's sarcastically they're saying it. Because again, the sales ain't coming in and thing. If all when UNC when everybody went by. That song will come round to hunt camera beside the SNM and to all who are singing it. because now it's going to be used sarcastically. You are telling all, yeah? So let me continue quickly because I don't want to stay too long in this thing. Eh? So for the workers and them who going home, I call for which name Vandana Mohit, the one who did take out picture naked all over Facebook. When she went on Dale and Tony, they asked if it's she never says not she. So she never says not she, so I say it's she. All she pampalam expose her, she's minister now. Yeah, when she put her, I call and she help the people and I might have all kind of grants in the ministry, help them whatever it is. Here the media release she put out. Government of Republic of Trinidad and Tobago Ministry people and Social Development and Family Services. So immediate release Wednesday, July the 9th. Port of Spain, the Ministry of the People and Social Development and Family Services reiterates its steadfast commitment to supporting citizens affected by recent program adjustment resulting in loss of income. In response to recent media commentary and public concerns regarding the socioeconomic and emotional effects of job displacement, the ministry continues to address the needs of vulnerable individuals and families through its established services. These include a range of support measures such as professional counseling, psychosocial support, and ongoing social assistance for citizens experiencing emotional stress, loss, or uncertainty. All services are delivered with compassion, confidentiality, and care. The ministry remains committed to its mandate of delivering people-centered support and fostering resilience amongst the nation's most vulnerable population. For more information, they give these services. So all they're willing to give is counseling. Not a hamper, not a grant, not a book grant, not a school book, not a uniform, nothing. She's going to give all of them counseling. So 10,500 on the whole 20,000 workers who lost their job because they were fired just like that. All they go to the Ministry of Vandana Mohit and all they go for counseling. And the counseling will feed all you, pay all your bills, send your children to school, get your money to travel, go get you everything, just counseling. The woman is saying nothing about grants, the woman is saying nothing about a hamper, nothing. But only can counseling alone. They're into counseling alone now. While them doing that, let me just read this here. While them doing that, the MP for Port of Spain was St. Anne's West, who they only want to be jumping right through. Let me tell you something. I want to tell my member of parliament something. It had to be the sea. How far you will reach, your success, the love people have for you, your commitment to Trinidad and Tobago, your honesty, your patriotism, your integrity. They're saying those things and they're buttering them because the way how them keep attacking you. You're not even trying to face, they're still attacking you. Right now, there are questions, questions over audit firm, but Stewart hit back and denies any link to brother. They're trying to drag Minister Stewart Young brother into some audit firm, right? His response to that, excuse me, my brother's association with BDO ended in 2014, over 11 years ago. So the central bank retaining BDO as its auditor in 2024 has absolutely nothing to do with my brother or me. Mrs. Pasabi Sessa would do well to focus on running the country, which seems to be an autopilot, and get over her sad obsession with my brother and me, Stuart Richard Young MP. So they're trying to implicate his brother in some auditing firm that the central bank hired in 2014. When the last time my MP brother worked for that firm or associated with that firm was in 2014. We're in 2025 now. But that member of parliament, while all of them sit down and grinning and stinging and trying to jump, he was in the office, constituency office, making sure that in his constituency, the people so affected by losing CPEP jobs, that the least he could do is give them some substance, a hamper, that they can at least take home and they sure they have a meal. Not just no counseling. And not just no talk. I see somebody put up, oh, why he do that for the whole country? How the hell he going to do that for the whole country? He's the Prime Minister of this country. He's the Member of Parliament for Port of Spain, North, St. Anne's West. That is his responsibility. Port of Spain, North, St. Anne's West constituents who are affected by the CPEP lost a job and anybody lose a job, it's his responsibility to see about them as best as he can. The other constituencies and them, let them members of Parliament see about them. You don't have to see about them. Let them members of Parliament see about them. So he is there doing that, making sure he's out there and listening to the needs of the people while they're still trying to drag him. I see Jolene John would have told the opposition leader that I was vexed when I say the opposition leader weak. And I will keep saying it because it's the truth. Everybody dragging she but all they vex at me for saying what everybody said. I want you to be strong. I want the PNM to be a strong opposition because we have drama to deal with this UNC. But you're not seeing that. She's not leading from the front. Every time they have a press conference, it's this one talking, that one talking. When she do come to talk, you want to sleep on yourself. Nothing to excite you. Nothing to raise your spirit to say, yes, something happening. Nothing. I see that Leadarse trying that thing, whatever, but she ain't even coming across believable because she don't have no history and not on the ground with nobody. Must in she constituency, I don't know. But you ask anybody around other than she constituency, they will tell you. She's not a friendly person. Not on the ground, so now trying to link with the ground and talk from it ain't looking believable. Because them is not things she was doing before. The same thing with the opposition leader. She has never been a strong speaker. You ask people in the ministries where she was the minister, me and trying to be hurtful. It's real talk, we had a talk. And all who want to have a platform and don't want to talk about it. I want a puppy show and mama guy people. That's all they like to do. Cover up thing. And then when you think you cover no more and they break out everybody, oh my God, I didn't know. Talk the thing now. Let things fix now. It's everybody saying that. PM2, imagine PM2. The little boy who Nizam Mohammed mentioned, dragging the opposition leader boy. Are we great PNM dragging she? You know when Nizam Mohammed said that little boy. He in the parliament, PM2, I just call it that. Dragging the opposition leader. Look, Jolene John and all talking about Lady Lava song with Bob the Builder. It's not Bob the Builder. All them kind of insult. And when we get nothing, I'm not going to run over after every car and nobody can tell me when to speak. That will begin. But all this thing happening with the UNC, they want to bring now a Lord Chancellor. They want the Privy Council to remain. They fire about 20,000 workers and people continue to go home. All the things that they're doing, all on the boards are looking like little India, it ain't looking like little Trinidad. They bring the Indian Prime Minister here and it was like little India, it wasn't a national thing. All these things happening and nothing, and don't say nothing. Because well, but all they continue, all they say all kind of thing about Dr. King Christopher Rowley. And the same thing all they accuse the man of, it's the same thing all they're doing now. So what's the sense? There's 13 people that have here, except for, and I call him plain, except for my member of parliament and a couple others, Dominic Romain, speaker like Scotland, I will even show him, Gonzalez, and but it have a veteran, the Ember. It had the young ones and them now learning. The political leader, it can't think she wait. All it had to be in a paper and head down thing, oh God. No excitement, no intonation, nothing, just one dreary thing. Come now, man. You know the UNC again on? Yeah, Jolene John. Imagine Jolene John. United National let me see if it can play. Let me play.
United National Congress, UNC, Deputy Political Leader and Works Minister Jolene John has dismissed opposition leader Penelope Beckles' recent appeal for forgiveness as too little, too late, accusing her and the People's National Movement, PNM, of a decade of destruction. Speaking at the UNC's Monday night report at Penal Secondary School last night, John criticized Beckles' call for unity and reconciliation, claiming it came only after the PNM had lost support from over 100,000 of its own voters. What does the leader of the opposition do? She begs for your forgiveness, John said. She has no answer for their disruption of your lives. No excuse for the 10 years of neglect, their arrogance, their deceit, and lies. She says, baby, I'm sorry. Tonight, I say too little, too late. John also rejected Beckles' plea for former members to return to the PNM and help rebuild the party. Now Penny is asking them to come back and build the PNM. Why and for whom? John asked. All Allah PNM people here, Allah could put up Allah hand. You are part of the rising sun. You're not going back and build nothing. In an address laced with political jabs, John added, I tell Penny tonight, just like Lady Lava, you're not Bob the Builder. You're not building PNM. You're not building PNM for future because it's still not yours.
Right? Imagine John and all jumping out and talking about Lady Lava and you're not Bob the Builder. And the person of Petrotrin. A Balti, very correct. Petrotrin workers they put aside, the government put how much $1 billion to pay off Petrotrin. All established workers on Petrotrin, based on the pay package, they get a retrenchment money, they get a VSEP money, they get good money. All who are part-time and all that, they get money also. You can't class them with the 20,000 workers who UNC fired or the 10,500 CPEP workers they fired. So don't come here with all this shit talk cross-boss. Petrotrin workers was sent home with money. If they ain't getting, let them go and talk to Roger. Roger is the president to negotiate on the blasted behalf of OWTU. Let him go and negotiate to get the land they had to get. The government put aside money, billions of dollars to pay Petrotrin. OWTU as the union. Cross-boss, if all they know nothing, then shut all your ass and fed up all your that shit. Talk thing with sense. I don't mind you come on the live and you have an opinion. But talk thing with sense. Petrotrin workers get money. Anything they get, go talk to Roger, who is alleged to get $90,000 a month and he works nowhere. He's a retiree. If they ain't get things, let them talk to Roger. The government put aside money for them. You can't class them with CPEP workers. But all of them want that. Some all of them want that. All they take chain up from some people who you see them up and down the PNM. Like if they so care, it's have a little short one I just call it like you have hubris syndrome. Like they so care. And under Dr. Rowley, they fight down Dr. Rowley for the 9 years and the man was trying to save this country. Who they come to Dr. Rowley defense? But all they want to talk about Black Party. And I'm saying it again, they could vex at me. I want nothing from PNM other than the PNM to come and be a force to reckon with as the opposition so that by 2030 they're ready for election. I'm not saying that. I'm saying it again, the opposition leader weak. The hate, it appears like all they have for sure. I don't know if they're going to all they have a meeting, all they don't invite certain people to all the meeting. I want to talk about love and bring back love. I just talking. Look, recently a situation happened with advice given to a contractor. I hear it at a meeting, wherever. I hear now it is alleged. They saying them didn't get no authority for that letter and all kind of thing. All they train people under the bus. That young, bright attorney supposed to pinch yourself. Pinch yourself. Because it's alleged, based on what I hear, you get thrown under the bus. They say no approval was given for that letter when that was written. I wasn't there. I hear so. It is alleged. When things start to go south and all over, they go look for a scapegoat. Back yourself, don't say Auntie Jenny then tell you. Don't say Auntie Jenny then tell you. Don't take chain of talk from them who talking about, oh, I jealous you and I don't like you and all that thing. Don't take them chopper talk, you know. I just talk real talk. So, as I was saying, instead of trying to help the CPEP workers who they fire, they're going to get them counseling and also they're going to eat the counseling. My member of parliament was doing something and has been doing something, offer legal services to those who go watch your contract, look at it, see if you have a legitimate claim, legitimate expectation. Doing what you have to do. He's not in government, he's in opposition. And before the opposition leader, work with Stuart Richard Young and all she MPs and them. You're pulling aside with a some, and then you're leaving some. So some win and some in win. That is any togetherness. And don't say nothing. It has some of them that's had a lie. Don't talk about them thing. What are you talking about? Lies and fallacies? Tell the people the truth. Go and talk to your opposition leader. Tell she to change and do things better. And stop this stupid talk and this thing, this idea they're talking about black party and black party. PNM is not no black party. No black party ain't going to make it in this cosmopolitan country. And this opposition leader saying it again. She has no oomph, nothing. Not me, you say so. It's Dale and Tony and them on a morning show. They said she has no oomph, nothing. Boring, boring. She's not a good speaker. She's not energetic, nothing. And never leading from the front. Always had the others and them talking and talking and talking. You have people who then win the seat, them talking more than anybody else. Where you win your seat? Your first meeting you have after your coronation and they crown your queen, you're going to have it over the Caroni Bridge. Why ain't going in your area that you win? Let your constituents and them celebrate with you. Let everybody come to the place where the queen is, man. You want to cross so. All them decisions you're making, it's song and week. Who advising you? They're not advising you right. They're chilling you up to make you feel that you are some kind of fire. You can't build back nothing by yourself. And that crew you have there, most of them can't build back nothing either. Don't we be real? Let me be real. So it's either one or two niggas who come to mash up PNM. All is so full in all their head and all their space that all they feel all is it. All is not it. People done fed up all there already. People done fed up all there already the way all they're treating people by. All they're seeing that all they're treating Stuart Young so far by. What's Stuart Young do all there by? Stuart Young helped to bring more investment in this country than all their years. All of us in the PNM ever do. You, madam, political leader, you was in the wilderness for plenty years. Tell people why Patrick Manning, deceased, put you in political wilderness. Eh? All they talking about the man now coming to who just come to and talking plenty all over the place. He do work, don't move as if the man never do nothing. All they treating the man so boy, God don't like wicked and ugliness, you know. I don't know what let's pray to, you know. And who want to go and touch I do business, they can't want to see the PNM do well. But the way how they're going, this continuous disrespecting of certain people. Look what they do, Dominic Romain MP. Go up and disrespect him in your own constituency that he win. People who barely win their own constituency by 200 and something. They say they don't want to, it is a leisure, you don't want to old people wrong him. And it's the same old people had to come out and vote for him. Otherwise, if they didn't come out, he might have lost that seat. What are they talking and telling people them things for? They now come in the PNM too. If all they want to say Stuart Young now come in the PNM, all they now come in the PNM too. But you do plenty in the PNM and work tirelessly. All they don't support the man with nothing. You think people ain't watching that hour? All they think, it's come like when I say, all they feel God is all their father and he's their father hour. All they feel nobody in support the man hour. All they feel he in love to hour. All they feel he know the ground to hour. People watching what they're doing. So they can't be talking about no love and come back home before they're doing them thing by. That wickedness. And knowing you're not ready. You walk crown on your head and you can't wear the damn crown. That reminds me of Precious from Lord of the Rings. You hold on to this political leader, you make history. Opposition leader make history, okay. But what next? What next? Miss Penelope Beckers Robinson asking you. You know to yourself. I saying so. This is my opinion. You know to yourself you ain't able. But you're done in it, you have to front it. That's my opinion. Because the rate you're going, you ain't seen nothing to excite you. Nothing. 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 All they sit down there and don't want to talk the truth and feel like I'll carry PNM some way. All they feel, sit down there and don't say nothing. We'll bring PNM dirty laundry in public. Who started to do that first? Now Ms. Baptiste Primus and That little short one day, who in my opinion, I say, yeah, hubris syndrome, we name the cunt, Le Hunt. Le Hunt. Lord, my tongue just slipped there, yes, Le Hunt. It's not them start to bring all the things that happening in general council and thing, and it's not them start to do that. So the horse don't leave the stable already. Or they're trying to pull it back now. But what are they doing? The people depending on our PNM, Mrs. Penelope Beckers Robinson, opposition leader, political leader of the PNM. The people of this country depending on our PNM and they're not seeing nothing. They're not seeing nothing. They're not seeing nobody to stand up. Imagine PM2 Padarat dragging you. Look on Liza Mohammed talk about it. Liza Mohammed said that little boy, he need to be trained. And Liza Mohammed is not inside the politics thing again. And he's dragging you. Well, my leader is from the front. My leader is from remember Pine the president is from the front. That way we thing reach. That way it reach. With the PNM. With the PNM to stand up. Madam Penelope Beckers Robinson. Those say the same I used to be telling PSM members. Take the 4%. It's not enough. We understand all that, but take it. When I was telling them about what Jude do, and I tell them what this one do, instead of taking my advice, there was cussing and this and that, and everything come and play out Friday. I'm telling you, Madam Penelope Beckers Robinson, the rate you go in, you will not be able to win nothing. It's not because I don't like you. She's a nice lady. I met her up in Bushline. We take pity and Ting. I met her for independence, for emancipation. Harold is a nice lady. Not me, I ain't talking about your personality. I'm talking about political space. I talk about in the politics. I ain't talking about your private life thing. It's a nice lady. You can't do it. And if nobody want to tell you that, tell them Jennifer Frederick say, you cannot rebuild the PNM. Tell them Jennifer Frederick say that you cannot carry PNM and lead them into no victory. If they don't want to tell you, I'm telling you. And I'm telling you from a genuine place, a truth. I'm not telling you from no bringing you down and dragging you down. If nobody want to tell you, I tell you. And if I should see you in person, I will come closer and I will tell you the same thing. There comes a time in your life you have to sit down and realize I can't go there. Just like Moses, he couldn't go so because of the certain thing he do when he hit these rock and drop the rock, whatever our little church people know. And he could only see. He couldn't go. You can't go there. You might see that the PNM will come, but not you. It's not under you. You can't do it. And nobody can teach you to do them things now. Nobody can bring you up to scratch. You don't set anywhere. You're 60-something. You can't change that just so. Well, then that will be some type of mental kind of something. After 60-something years and that, everybody I talk to you always had this calm and quiet and unintrusive and unremarkable way of thing. And dress so. You go just think, well then, not dying right. So you don't set anywhere already. Nobody can make you no great speaker again to put intonation when you're talking and to think of the thing or to glance at a paper and then have it in your head there and talk that you have to be looking down every minute. And nowadays, people want to teach you to do that. Come now, man, only be real now. All I can go and say, I say, and I do business because it's real talk. All I don't want nobody to talk real talk. All I want people to lie to all and then all they just feel good. Are you not lying to nobody, boy? Because I can bring that line in, bring him back, pay them into office. Is it truth? And to deal with the matter, is it truth? So let me see all the way and bounce up. So I want to say good evening. How much people? 271. Thank you all so much for the support. Hi, Mr. Gibson, Trevor, Attilia, Bounce Up, Director, Shah, Patty. I said Trevor already. No, Trevor. Or let's scroll down. Anon 0001. Wayne, Ricardo, let me see who again. The conversation will be hot in Lisbon, Julie, David, or David, Chris, who again? I said Julie already, I think. Jones, 21215, Michael, SCN at 2. Jenny, I'm with you all the way on Penny. She doesn't. Yeah, and it's not that we don't like her, nothing. Hi, Annette. It's not that, but oh God, hi, Sedina. We want something, boy. We want something to make you feel to pull up your Gideon boots, strap up your boots, pull on your hat, and say we come to do the work. You ain't getting that, boy. I tried to listen to she and think I ain't lying to tell you, I start to feel sleepy. It's boring, man. If the PNM government okay thing, but trying to get back into government, you can't get back with that kind of speed. There no speed, there no steam, there nothing by. Let me see if I see how much people here because how this thing looking, right? It ain't nobody. People are not seeing any names, anything coming up, just what I'm here. So Yvette, Rebecca, Joycelyn, Leno, and all those who I would have called when I now started the show. Thank you all so much. I can't see the names. I don't know what's happening, probably because the live was breaking down all the time. I won't keep you all much longer. But everything I say here, I can say it again. I don't talk with water in my mouth. Excuse me. When I'm talking, I don't be lying. So if you take me back, I say, yes, I did say so. So I'm saying it again. I'm saying it again, Ollie, and tell me if I'm wrong, tell me, because serious times happening in this country, Serious thing, This looking like some kind of little India or some kind of thing, that's my opinion, This ain't looking, This looking like UNC on steroids or something, And you had to have a opposition that clicking, All kind of thing happening over here and they're talking about right now, and nothing wrong in that. Let one person deal with the CPAP thing, talk about other issues going on too that affecting the same people who get fired from CPAP and them other country to other job places too. Real issues happening. We need a opposition that clicking, boy. And every time I think you're not seeing the opposition leader there. It's good that you delegate to other people, nothing wrong with that, but at least be there. Be there, even if 5 minutes, whatever. Your troops, you're there with your troops. And then they say, Senator, do your thing. Yeah. But you're not there. And when you're there and you're talking boring, I'm saying it again, B-O-R-I-N-G. Boring. Only exit me for that. And if you're boring, nobody wants to listen. Just when nobody doesn't want to read no long posts. Sometimes I see some long posts and I say, oh God, I have to make up my mind 3 and 4 times to read it. It's the same if you're boring, people say, oh God. I ain't able, no? You have to have something, man. Even though let me talk the thing about a little something, I might make a little joke, I might think, or something to make you want to come back to hear what John had to say. And I just have ordinary status. You have nothing by. And only ostracizing member of Parliament for Palestine was sentenced for Stuart Richard Young SC. What are they doing that for? All they don't want his light to shine. All they have light and all they to let all the light shine too. All is trying to God, let all the light shine on what somebody else like and want them to dim the light for all it to shine. That's wrong. Find your niche, find what you're good at and treat with it. Don't jealous somebody else and what they have by. Oh yeah. But Jenny, don't worry, Penny will bring back the pen and you'll bring back what? Zara, listen to me. Don't get me blast, my head blasted out there, darling. So what if she's your mother? I never say she's not a good mother. I never say she's not a good person. So because I say mother, that means she could bring back the PNM. Come now, man, be real. Yes, I'm worried because she can't bring back the PNM. And I'm sure she was a good mother or is a good mother to you. That has nothing to do with it. Politically, why you ask your mother Why it is Patrick Manning had she in wilderness for 9 years. Zara wanted to go and ask mommy that for me. And when you ask mommy that, you can inbox me and tell me easy. I don't tell nobody. Find out the ministries your mommy used to work and go and ask the workers there, the permanent sexual workers there, what type of minister she was. Zara wanted to go and ask those questions. Ask people who she did law work for, what type of lawyer she is, if she good at the job. Zara, darling, I wanted to go and ask your mommy clients and then that if they were satisfied. And come back and tell you now, Zara, come now, man, you can love your mommy, nothing wrong with that. I don't just like your mommy, but your mommy not able for no political thing, boy. Your mommy not able for no political war, boy. Let me be real. I never say your mommy not a nice lady. Her brother passed. Well, I didn't even know that. I didn't know that. So, if what Angela is telling me that the opposition leader and political leader, the Honorable Penelope Beckers-Robinson, her brother has passed and the funeral is today. From the Levy Ting family, I want to send my deepest condolences. We want to send our deepest condolences to her in these times of her mourning and know that these things are never easy for anybody to carry. Yeah, and we want to wish her all the best and whatever she needs to take her to feel a little more comforted, whatever comfort that she gets from family, friends, and all that, we wish her all the best, yeah? We are not incompassionate people, you know. And not because I talk somebody, opposition leader and political leader, mean that I dislike the woman, you know, or that I will glorify any unhappiness, you know. I don't roll like that, and I tell you, I could chew and speak at the same time. I'm talking about her politically, not her personally. Yes, a younger brother, I'm so sorry to hear that. Michelle, you know, you're right, as Shubsia Joycelyn. We don't want to be surprised because she cannot surprise us politically. That's what we're talking about, sweetheart. Politically, she cannot surprise us. She can't change after 60-something years and do something different now, politically. It don't work. And the opposition knows that too because they know her. Yeah? So, I'm happy how you're backing for your mommy. That's what you should do. Stand up and defend your mommy, darling, but your mommy need to know the limitation also, right? So, again, condolences to the opposition leader, political leader, Mrs. Penelope Beckers-Robinson, her whole family, and the passing of her brother. Yeah? So, people, it have work to do. I don't see the opposition leader doing the work. That's just my opinion. And she's not going to surprise me. I know there's something called logic, there's something called being real. And then if, based on what Zara said, she's surprised, then it means she wasn't being her authentic self all the time. And that will worry me now. If she go and do things she's not accustomed doing, and just started with, I will get worried now because it will not be that she was living her authentic self all the time. I mean, she was pretending all the time. And that will have me even more worried. So come now, man. So based on those things, look, Penny is different. We need to give her opportunity to be on our own. Mr. Robert Lewis, the opposition leader don't have no strategy. Or let's stop this foolishness. Let me wait and see. If they have no time to wait and see, this is 2025, 13 man down with a 20 who much seat UNC and who much 30 something member. If they have no wait and see nothing. Her strategy is not to talk. That is not a strategy. It could only be a strategy if it's a strong leader and a strong speaker, strong orator. She is not. So there's no surprise there when you're ostracizing some of your members. When you went and had a meeting with only 6 of them and they choose you as the opposition leader, that can never be no strategy. When 2 members who know on the executive, they get voted in by 2 people who know it wasn't legally for them to vote in and they stand by that. Those are not strategies. I started the wrong way. Oh, let me be real now, man. Let me be real now, man. And stop this fooling people because you like somebody. Because you like somebody, that means to say you can point out what they're doing wrong. You know, let's point out what you're doing wrong. Like when somebody don't mean to say you can pull them up. Why all of those operate as if you tell them about they go look away? I have nothing against the opposition leader, but I'm telling you politically she weak. She has no strategy. So that time she go surprise me and she go build back what? And start off so. So now I tell you, if she do anything outside the norm, I go start to get worried now because me again I say she wasn't being authentic, she was fooling and fronting. You have to be real. So I glad for you. I glad for you with all your faith all you have in however, but I could only go from what I see, what I heard about, and me and see nothing different. But I glad for you. Me living in no hope and hope and hope. This is real thing happening now, real time, with a runaway horse that is the UNC. Real thing. So all they go ahead and all the fantasy land, dress how they tell all they, don't vote for Stuart Young, it's a black party, and even if the PNM lost, we go build back. That's what they tell all they. They tell some all that. This is not 33-3 when it had a strong leader. This is not 29-12 when it had a strong leader. This is 13-20, how much? With a weak leader. Take that on the pipe and smoke it. I love all you. And one. PNM will never see office in Trinidad and Tobago. Well, if they want to see office, they know what to do. That's what I could say. If they want to see office cross, they know what to do. It has been done before. We got that coming from behind. Don't count out the PNM, but not under Mrs. Beckles. I'm being real. But don't count out the PNM, but not under Mrs. Beckles. Yeah? People I go and see all on Friday, go spend a comment something, fresh something new. This say girl Jen Jen, sister Jenny, Auntie Jenny. And if you want to get formal, it's Miss Jennifer Frederick, another edition of Louis. So you think. Miss Zara, I have nothing to do with you and your mother, girl. Your mother, she deserves the best. That is your mother. I agree with you. But that has nothing to do with politics, darling. You're not understanding or what. As a politician, she weak. Your mommy might be a nice mommy, and that's mommy thing, that's personal thing. We're talking politics, darling. So yes, she deserves the best, but she don't deserve the PNM if she weak. You don't deserve the PNM. No, the PNM is not nobody own. You have to earn that. And she has not. And I don't have nothing against her. But she's your mommy, and yes, she should defend your mommy, and she deserves the best. She deserves the best of she family. Of course she does. She don't deserve the best of the PNM. PNM is an organization, an institution. You have to earn. You earn your right to build back, darling. Okay? So, let me not get the personal talk about your mommy and all that, please. Let me not go there now, darling. Zara, I'm not talking about your mommy personally. I'm talking about politics. So don't get it too twisted, right? Love you all, people, see you all. PNM is not the PNM. Well, I don't know what Zara talking about. That's your mommy. She deserves the best. All they have to give she the best. That's your mother. She brother, she sister, she uncle, she cousin, she nana, and yes, and she friend. Get she the best. We're talking politics here. And she don't deserve to be leading up PNM as a weak leader. Because I can't get back PNM into office. And I said it, I will say it over and over again. Right? Love you, Sarah. Love all those who locked on and tuning here. God. It's a love at the end of the day. Real love, real talk, serious talk, no joke talk. Me ain't pampering and puffing up nobody because me ain't looking for nothing. All I want is the best for this country. That's what I'm looking for. Because it has a little trend coming up. It have the little ones we have to look out for. The Indian ones, the Chinese one, the Syrian one, the African one, all little children. We have to look out to secure their future. It's them we fighting for. Yeah? So Zara, darling, love you. Understand what I was talking about. Chris Boss, hear what going on now. Go on your UNC program now, big them up now. Yellow is the code. And when UNC win, everybody win. Right now, people singing that and they're sarcastic about it because they know all of them lost. Yeah? It's not propaganda spreading here. You know the meaning of propaganda. Everything I talk about, you could go and find it. You could go and Google it and there. So it's not me spreading the propaganda. It's all the reports that I read in, darling. Yeah? I don't spread propaganda. I don't have time with that. So people, see you all on Friday. Go spend a comment something fresh, something new. Love you all. I'm going.